Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Edmund, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Steve.
Oh, hello.
And Jorvik is here. And Nick is here.
Hello.
And Mike is here.
I am.
Yar. And
Why do you always introduce Mike last? Why do you play favorites?
It's just the order that it's down there on my screen. It's okay. Yeah,
So
everybody's number one. Everybody.
That's not true.
Our number is 919-518-9773. Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by Telestream's Wirecast software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. It's a new day.
Put me off.
What did you say?
Put me off. Who's got this stream going in the background?
A what?
Somebody's got this stream going in the background. It put me off.
It's not me.
It's not me. I'm muted.
Well, that's really weird.
You mean you hear it now?
All the way through the intro.
When
Not
we
now,
talk,
no.
we hear it about 5 seconds later.
Not now, but it was.
Oh, Tish said she used it too.
Really?
Weird. Oh, it's probably the NSA. Oh, well, carry on. It's not like it's
That's
really loud,
interesting.
blasting straight back in your
No,
ears,
I mean,
but it was there in the background. It kind of put me off a bit. I was thinking, what's going on? And then you chose me first. I've been mic muted, and it's too early on a Sunday.
All right.
Well, isn't it like 5 o'clock in the afternoon over there? What do you mean too early on a
Oh,
Sunday?
to be silly, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
I've only just got up.
Oh, that's your problem.
So what's going on?
Not much hanging out.
Nick, you had a
I'm starting to get back in Pal Talk.
You're starting back out?
I'm starting to get back into Pal Talk, which I venomously detested back along, but I'm starting to get back into it again now.
Why?
Why? Because there's a nice group of people that we can have a good chat with, and it's some good conversations going on. And
Really?
unofficially, we can play music. Unofficially, obviously, because that would be illegal doing that, and I wouldn't dream of doing any such thing. But, there are some people that apparently play music on there, which is quite interesting, and you get to hear some old tracks that you haven't heard for ages.
Spreaker and Blog Talk Radio merged. Did you hear that, Mike?
Really?
I did. I heard that.
Yeah.
Who took who over?
I don't know.
One thing with Pal Talk, which I didn't realize, is they got a 3-way mic. I thought they were only like one-way mics. You had to push the button to talk, and then. But apparently, there's 3-way mics as well, which is interesting.
The problem with Pal Talk is that the various levels of service have different features that I don't like playing that game. If you want to have true 3-way, you have to have certain features, unless they've changed it. You have to have the more expensive package and all that. They were asking me to help them do some things, and I said, that's fine, but I'm not going to pay for an account. Okay, so they set me up with a big account, and I'm sitting there working with them, and all of a sudden, a year later, the account goes away, and I keep saying, do you want me to continue? And I never heard anything back, so I left.
All right. I know when Gary was there and when we were on TalkShoe trying to get things sorted out, and he was trying to do his podcast and simulcast it and stuff, he gave me some benefit or some sort. I can't remember what it was now, and that lasted for a few months. But I've actually paid for it now because that advertising was driving me absolutely crazy.
No kidding. Well, I haven't been on it
And
in
occasionally. Yeah, I hadn't been on it for about 3-4 years. Mike, Jorvik used it quite a lot, but I was always adamant. I don't like this push button to talk, but now I've got back into it. It's quite good.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
How much is it costing you a month?
I paid the year figure, which was I think about £45 to give you a green nick. Gets rid of the adverts, which is the predominant reason for paying for it.
Right. I had a purple.
Purple's good.
Yeah, but I've never.
Yeah, it's good. I don't mind paying for it because I've been using it mainly early hours of the morning when I can't get back to sleep. But if you hunt around, you can find a good room with a good group of people and have some good conversations. It's been quite enlightening, actually.
Well, there certainly has been a void with things changing, and now with YouTube, Facebook censoring things, I guess the alternate reality has to go underground.
Yes, Mike, you were going to say something, I think.
No, wasn't me.
Oh, I thought I saw a picture of your doggy pop up.
All right, I was just working on the Facebook link here, and she's at work.
Bother you, Amnon?
Say again?
Nothing. Go ahead.
No, I was working on the Facebook link, so it's done now. Anyway, things that what happened this week? What's the biggest thing that happened last week?
There's a hurricane.
Yeah, but more.
There's a fight.
Well, finally,
Fight.
the whatchamacallit, the acquisition, Amazon's acquisition of Whole Foods is
Correct.
going through. And guess what? A lot of people, including my wife, who was saying, oh, the people in the store saying they're going to cut their benefits and this is not good. And now everybody's starting to say, oh, because they announced that the prices as of Monday are going to go down. It's going to be cheaper as of Monday. So now everybody's saying, oh, that's good.
See, that's not necessarily good.
I know.
A lot of these people who buy from Whole Foods don't want to be labeled as someone who shops at a cost-effective store.
The reason Kathy goes there is because of the organic stuff.
Or the organic people.
Yeah. I don't know about that. But that's what she wants. That's what she gets.
The people there are gonna hate. All the people there are gonna quit.
I doubt anybody's going to quit, but I'm sure.
Oh, I bet you they will. Amazon does not treat their workers with the utmost respect.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm
But
sure.
they're the same wackos that own the store now. It shouldn't be any difference.
I know they work the people in those warehouses to death. It'll be interesting to see if they do, what they do anything about the Whole Foods workers.
Well, it's not like they can just go out and get another job the next day. So people are going to put up with it, I think. The people.
Oh, I think jobs are abundantly available right now. If you can't find a job now, you might want to talk with someone.
Yeah. We'll see. This is all we're guessing that it's going to happen. Who knows? I mean, I'm
Right.
sure they're going to cut back.
Learn how to paint houses. I've got a painter who's supposed to have been coming by my house for 2 weeks and he hasn't shown up.
Oh, here, I'll stop by. I'll do it.
All right. What time are you going to be here?
I could be there by 11.
Yep.
11:15.
All right.
Nick is going to look at. You're going to give him a brush or a roller, and he's going to say, "What's that?"
Oh, yeah. What do you think? I've never done anything.
Well,
before.
the problem is we took the room apart in anticipation of him getting here. He's just been so busy he can't get here. And while I understand and appreciate that, at some point the customer service has to play into it.
No.
Nah, customer service isn't important anymore.
What am I thinking? He's a good guy. I like him a lot, and he does a good job, and at a reasonable price. But he's just so busy.
Maybe he needs to advertise.
Yeah. Do not call me. You will be unhappy with the result because I will not be able to call you back. So write this number down. Do not call.
There you go.
Who was it? There was one article, do not call, do not reply, and all that. Here's an article by this guy who says it's an email, like it says, "Dear," way too many companies to mention here. "If you're allowed to send me an email, I'm allowed to send you an email. You just sent me an email and I have a question. Don't make me hunt for a way to ask it. Email already has a built-in way to do that. It's called reply. Whether it's good news or bad news, whether you're an established company or a startup, your customers would love you more if you let them reply to your emails." And this is concerning all these emails that you get from companies. Say, "Do not reply at. Do not reply at." Why? It's a
Because I
very
don't want to
good.
be bothered.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I mean,
Yeah, because they don't want to monitor an email account. Why do they care?
well, then don't send
Well,
me
what
anything.
aggravates me is people sign up using one of my email addresses. Is kind of common. They sign up to, actually two of them. They sign up using it. They're too stupid to know their own email address. But what happens is that I get these emails not intended for me. Dear Mark, dear Joe, whatever. And it's sent from a no reply email address. So what I used to do, I would used to see if there was a very quick way to contact them and let them know. Usually there's not. They try to hide from you. They don't want you contacting them by email. So I've just started flagging them as spam.
Absolutely.
And when it says, and then when Gmail says, "Do you want to unsubscribe?" We'll see if it's a legitimate email list. They'll say, "Do you want to unsubscribe and flag as spam, or just flag as spam?" I just flag as spam. If they wanted me to unsubscribe, they would have put an unsubscribe link in it.
Yeah.
And I don't care who it is or what they say, too many flagged as spams in Gmail does not help their business.
No, and the thing that really that I found out is I used to blacklist them right away. But then if you, as you learn about the email, you can look in the header and see who actually sent it to you. And you see all these IP addresses in, Russia and Poland and India and all that. And you said, okay, they said that they are that, but they're not. And you blacklist the server that sent it to you. And even in Gmail you can look, but Gmail has a good mechanism that when you flag it as spam, I mean it's not like, okay, we'll think about it. No, it's bang, it flags it as spam, and from then on you will not get anything into your mailbox. You will probably get it into your spam, but not to your mailbox. I, in the last few years, adopted, if I got any complaint and it looks like a spam, I blacklist that IP address so they cannot do anything on Delta Force. They cannot come to a website, nothing. They are blocked right at the firewall.
How many hours a day do you work on this, Amnon?
I don't work on it that much anymore because we have other mechanisms. But if somebody complains, which I may get one or two a day, I used to sit for hours. I mean, I do my own, I act on my own spams and customers who complain. But I used to go and search for them through the log, the mail log, and yeah, it was a lot of work. You're right. It does take a lot of time. One thing that's really, and a lot of people don't realize, if you look at your spam that does come into your mailbox, I'll bet you that 90% of it comes from a .us address. And
What's QS?
US, United States,
yeah.
.us. And what happens there is when you do a who is on it, you find out, oh, this domain was created this morning, or it was created yesterday morning. And what they do is they create a domain because they know that they're going to get blacklisted. They create a domain and they start sending spam through it. I found a service from Spam House, you have to pay for it, that lists all the new domains that are registered that in the last, you say, okay, if that domain was registered in the last 5 days, or it was registered in the last 10 days, then reject it. And it cut way back on the spams that were reaching us. And if I look through the log, oh man, .us, and you know that they are, because it's weird names.
.us is the cheapest domain, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they're doing it. So there are ways to battle it, but yes, I mean, I wish I could buy what's the Gmail Postini, yeah. It's an unbelievable system.
What I don't like about Gmail is you cannot truly blacklist a sender or an IP address. When you blacklist it, all it does is force it into spam.
Yeah, it makes sense that you can't block an IP address. It's not really your server to be blocking an IP with.
Right.
It could be from my account.
Yeah.
Well, but somebody else may want it. That's the...
Not on my account, they don't want it.
Yeah, but you can't blacklist. Your account doesn't have an IP address.
Right.
Sure you can. Sure
no,
you can.
Mike, Nick is right. If you block an IP address, then the IP address cannot get into your server.
You're telling me we can put a man on the moon and we can't find a way to block an IP address by email account?
It's not readily. I don't know of any way to do it.
We can find a way to predict a 1 year degree temperature change 100 years from now, and we can't figure out how to block a single IP address.
We can't do either, so keep dreaming.
Okay.
919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Anyway. Here's another interesting one. Apple is pulling apps created by Iranian developers that are specifically designed for people in Iran from its app store to comply with U.S. sanctions. Apple does not sell its products in Iran, and Iranians' version of the Apple App Store doesn't exist. But smuggled iPhones are popular among wealthy Iranians. Iranian developers have created thousands of apps for these users and offer them on app stores in other countries, including the U.S. App Store. For the last few weeks, Apple has been removing Iranian food delivery and shopping apps, and on Thursday, it removed Snap, an Uber-like ride-hailing app that is popular in Iran. So they are doing what they were supposed to do to begin with. And I couldn't help wondering, but I couldn't find any reason why they decided finally to do it. I couldn't come across any story that said that somebody or the government or anybody was complaining. I think it's just they figured out it's good practice to do that. And to get into the App Store is not that easy, so it's interesting that they're doing it because they had to know that these people were coming in and putting those apps beforehand. And if you're a avid big-time user of Facebook, according to recent warnings issued by Avira, CSIS Security Group, and Kaspersky Lab, a virulent spam campaign has hit Facebook Messenger during the past few days. The Facebook spam messages contain a link to what appears to be a video, and that comes from Bleeping Computer. The messages arrived from one of the user's friends, suggesting that person account was also compromised. Just like regular spam or viruses that get to you, and you figure, oh, it's from Judy. You really need to be careful when you're working now with Messenger, with Facebook Messenger. They can get you, and they've been getting people. What else? Did I lose you guys?
No, I'm still here.
Still here. I got nothing this week. No news
Yes, you do.
to talk about. I don't. Well, apart from Pal Talk, no, nothing.
Okay.
Oh, it was my dog's birthday last week, but I still told you last week when it was Sunday, wasn't it? So get off the dog subject straight away. Just don't want to get our mystery listener upset.
All right, let's see what else. So we're talking about Whole Foods, and here's an article about Amazon announced that their $13.7 billion acquisition of will close on Monday, and revealed how it plans to lower prices and integrate its Prime membership program into the Whole Foods checkout process. From a report, Amazon said that starting Monday, it will lower prices of some items at Whole Foods like organic bananas, brown eggs, salmon, ground beef, and more. It also plans to make Amazon Prime the customer rewards program at Whole Foods Market and continuously lower prices as we invent together. So that's what the CEO of Amazon Consumer Business said. Amazon will place its Amazon Lockers package pickup machines in some Whole Foods stores. It will also make Whole Foods private label products available on its website, on Amazon Fresh, on Prime Pantry, and Prime Now. Whole Foods CEO John Mackey will stay in his current role, and Whole Foods headquarters will remain in Austin. The grocer will maintain operations under its current brand. So they're not going to change the name of the store. But I'm sure somehow Amazon is going to be linked to it so people will know they're going to Amazon. And again, you know, we have to hope for the best. And we'll see what happens.
They'll just tag on a little Amazon before the Whole Foods, big sign Whole Foods, and a little tag Amazon there as well.
Yeah, they'll do something that people would know. Talking about Amazon Lockers, Marshall this week asked me to ship him a computer that I had here for him. And he needed it the next day. And I said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, I'm going to email you a label, and you can put it on it and take it over to the UPS store. I said, okay. So when the label came, there were a couple of addresses on it, and one of them was a UPS point, which I never heard of. And it was a little bit closer than the shopping center where they have a store. So I said, I'll go there. So when I went there, there was actually a UPS truck there. But it's an interesting facility. Mike, are you familiar with what it is? It's busy. It's like a place where you just drop.
No, I'm not.
It's a place where you just drop packages. Um, it's got like a couple of bins, and I wonder how they secure it. I mean, I didn't spend time there because the driver was there, and I said, "Can you take it?" He said, "Oh yeah." Took it and put it in the truck. Normally, when you go to mail something though, like that, ship something, you get some kind of a piece of paper.
You're so old-fashioned, Amnon.
Why? You don't get it
Piece of
anymore?
paper. No, the post office is old-fashioned. It's all electronic now. Scan, you're good to go. Check it online. Check your tracking number.
Yeah, but somebody has to take that from you.
Somebody will take it, all right.
And if they take something, they give you something to show that you shipped it. I could have said, "Yeah, I put it in there," but I never
Happens
did.
every day.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird.
You probably don't get away with it, but a couple of times.
Yeah. But it was painless. There was somebody there at the pickup trying to. They have, it's sort of like a, what do you call it? An ATM setup that you can get the label and pay for it and all that. And there was somebody trying to do something and they couldn't, and the driver was standing there, kind of, yeah. And when I came in and I showed it to him with the label, he said, "Oh yeah, I can take that." So that was nice. So you can. Did you ever shop for any? Who shopped for produce online? I mean, the Walmart does it, Whole Food does it, other places. I mean, even whatchamacallit, even Amazon is doing it at this point for some time with their fresh whatever. You can buy fruit and, I mean, fresh produce. Would you do that, Mike?
If it's going to be delivered within a couple of hours, sure.
Mike, you and I both know somebody that had it ordered something from Amazon Fresh and had it delivered with it was ordered around 10 o'clock in the morning and it was there by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And what was that?
From Amazon's delivery food service.
Who did?
The business.
Oh,
in Raleigh.
Oh, in Raleigh. Oh,
they said
I wasn't down there.
As they said, it was about 3 hours, and they delivered. Because I've done with Walmart, I'm doing my grocery shopping through their app, where you just select everything you want, you pay for it, and then you just go pick it up, and they load it into your car. But Amazon does the full delivery service, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to make a list of businesses that I can do business with because the ones I can't do business with is now too big.
Oh, so do you no longer do business with Amazon?
So, well, I mean, to finish this comment, then you can go back to what you were going to say, Amnon. You can't boycott everybody, and I don't really believe in boycotting.
No,
it's silly. However, if I don't like a company or like what they stand for, if I can avoid them at any cost, I will.
There you go.
And Amazon, love them to death, hate the company. Walmart, I can't avoid, and so I avoid them whenever possible.
But I mean, if we're talking about ordering fresh produce online, I don't know. I guess I am old-fashioned. I like to go and pick up the apples that I want. I mean,
I think that's valid. And for some, you do lose some of that being able to. I mean, the person probably shopping for you in the Amazon thing really doesn't care if you're getting the
right,
the best produce. So, because but see that I mean, there you talk about a trade off. There's your trade off. You can have it delivered to you. You don't have to lift a finger, but you may not get the
best
the best quality. So it's
okay.
Yeah, you've got to. I guess you've got to make that decision.
Yeah, and I guess it gets more and more like it. I mean, a lot of people are doing it. Otherwise, those companies would not have that type of service.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting to order a couple of pounds of apples and see what type of. I never done it, so I may do that just to see if the quality is there, or do they give you 2 nice ones and 8 banged up ones that are already beginning to rot. I don't know. It'll be interesting. All right.
Is anybody following what's going on in Houston? This flooding is insane.
Now you tell us about this because you're a weather.
They are getting so much rain from this hurricane. They've already got over 30 inches, and entire interstates are just completely underwater. I've never seen anything like it.
And why is it not moving?
Because there's no, I mean, the way that weather patterns work, systems move based on other systems moving in. So, for example, a low pressure system will move out because a high pressure system is pushing it. In this case, there is no other pressure to push this to move the system on. So it's essentially stalled because there's nothing forcing it. It's like a push lawnmower. If it, it'll spin and it'll do it. Yeah, your push lawnmower is great in one spot if you don't want to push it, but if you want it to move, something has got to move it. And it's the same thing with highs or lows. Something has to either it could, and it doesn't necessarily have to be another system. It could be a jet stream. It could be something moving in the system. And unfortunately for the people on the southeast Texas coast, there is nothing there.
Well, at least
go ahead. I'm looking at pictures of KHOU, which is the Channel 11 in Houston. They're downstairs of their building is underwater. They're doing their broadcast from a conference room upstairs.
So we're doing Hurricanes 2K now.
Yes.
So, Mike, we can put a man on the moon, but we can't move a hurricane.
Well, Al Gore says we do. We cause them, we move them.
Well, the whole thing, the thing that's interesting with this storm is that there really wasn't enough lead time.
What do you mean?
I mean, it just blew up.
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you mean wasn't enough lead time? You were talking about it 2 weeks ago.
But not this one.
No.
I wasn't talking about. This storm went over the Florida Panhandle, and
it was supposed to go to Mexico.
Yeah, it was pretty much dead. I mean, there was nothing left of it, and then all of a sudden, over 2 days, it just exploded.
So you mean weather predictions are variable,
Yes.
And they are not always dependable?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. That's what they are. They are predictions.
Well, I know, but we're never mind.
All right. It's not. Let's put it this way. It's not funny. It's very serious, and a lot of people are probably going to lose a lot of stuff. And some
still
people
40 people missing in Corpus Christi. I mean, a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, people will lose their life before it's all over, and it's bad.
It is. But, the thing that's so interesting about this, and bring it back to technology, the last major hurricane we had in the United States was Katrina.
Yeah.
And that was 2006.
It's amazing when you think about this.
It is. There was no social media. I mean, the way that pictures got out were the Weather Channel with their satellite trucks, or a local station being brave enough to put up a mast to beam some pictures back over microwave. There wasn't really, smartphones weren't readily available. This flow of information was significantly slower because everything was either done you were literally calling people and reporting things, or getting lucky with a lull, being able to beam back some pictures to a TV station. But with this, there was, Mike and I were watching a Periscope stream. I mean, this guy's just in the middle of the thing broadcasting on Periscope.
And I think he's an idiot. I mean, people celebrate these morons going out exposing themselves to physical danger for what?
This is what these people do, Mike. It's their passion. It's their hobby.
Been there, done that, know the story, got the T-shirt. What I'm telling you is it is just insanely stupid. All they have to do is mount a camera and leave the place. You can get all of the you can get all of the pictures and the what's it like inside the storm and what does it look like at the corner of Church and Main right now in Houston, and boy, look how deep the water. You can do all that
Thrill
with
seekers,
remote
Mike.
PTZ.
Thrill seekers, Mike. That's what these people are.
Exactly right. And then they get killed, and oh my God, it was terrible. He was just trying to bring us the news.
I mean, to not sound like a complete jerk. I mean, if those storm chasers died, it would be unfortunate, but it would be. I mean, you're playing at the hand of God at that point. So I mean,
when you watch that crap, you're encouraging that behavior.
Okay, well then I'll continue to watch that crap.
Okay, it's all right with me.
Are you watching now?
No, there's nothing to watch now, but it's just very interesting to see the flow of information on this storm compared to the last time, because it's been so freaking long. And how long? 12 years is or 2005 maybe. 12 years has been a long time on the internet.
Wait a minute. Global warming was supposed to cause a dramatic increase in hurricanes. Somebody's lying.
Ta-da! Really?
Welcome to the real world.
Oh, well. You look at some of these videos of these idiots out there in the storm, and they had a picture of one guy holding on, not this storm, but a prior storm, guy holding onto a lamppost and absolutely had his feet off the ground. The wind was blowing so hard. How long do you think you could hold on to that?
Well, I mean, you'll be surprised how long you can walk if you can hold if you're holding on to your life.
With adrenaline.
But the thing is, it's stupid to be there to begin with. That's the thing.
There's Channel 5, Raleigh. They'll send their dumb just their reporters down to the beach to stand in the water during the hurricane. What?
Yeah.
Why does it bother you so much? I'm curious.
I hate stupidity. I really.
Yeah, but why does it really? But I mean, there's something underlying here.
Where's your compassion, Nick?
Why does it bother you? If
that's a good question.
Some reporter out there and they want to get killed, why does that bother you so much?
That's a good question. I guess because it has to do with regard for human life.
No.
Yeah, it would bother me that they send the reporter, and he's doing it because he's getting paid, and if he doesn't, he'll get sacked. That's what bothers me.
No, that's not necessarily
forcing him into a dangerous situation.
Those are typically volunteer situations. If you watch the Weather Channel over the past 24 to 48 hours, all of the reporters that were out there, I mean, this is their thing. This is what they do, and at no point were any of them. I don't think were wishing that they weren't out there. I mean, these people are jumping up and down and yelling and hollering because they're, seeing power flashes and stuff. I mean, they love it. It's what they do.
Well, the need for fame has obviously overtaken them.
I don't think it has anything to do with fame.
No, they're all trying to get on the Weather Channel.
They're already on the Weather Channel, Mike.
See, there you go. Case in point. Let me encourage you to realize that a certain FM station in Wilmington does not support that level of risk.
That has nothing to do with a level of risk. I mean, the thing is you would say some of these people are just sent out there standing in front of I mean, they're very well planned out. They're put up in, they plan the whole thing out. They're put up in hotels that are lifted up off the ground. They're not just throwing people into the middle of it with no way to get out.
Well, if I turn on the Weather Channel and see Nick holding on to a lamppost sideways,
you've never seen a reporter hanging on to a lamppost.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
A person, you haven't seen a reporter hanging with his feet flying in the air. That's ridiculous.
Okay, I'm just telling you. I wouldn't call him a reporter either, but whoever this person was trying to broadcast it, I absolutely did. And you see hundreds of them hugging lampposts.
Well,
look at that GIF. Brent just posted in chat. Holly Ellenbogen.
All right, next. Roku is the top streaming media player device in the US, and its growth is only increasing. According to the latest industry report from market intelligence firm Parks Associates, 37% of streaming devices in U.S. households are Roku devices as of the first quarter of this year. That's up from 30% in the same quarter last year. And I guess the reason is because it's easy to use, right? Nick is not helping here. Oh, he's...
Well, when I had mine for a short period of time, and I was trying to get it to work with the old monitor that I had, yeah, it was relatively easy to use, very intuitive, and it's nicely laid out.
Yep, and they give you a remote that you can use. I mean, it's there were a few reports this week that I was reading about the fact that a lot of people that want to cut the cord saying it is difficult. It is in many cases more expensive if you're trying to get everything that you have on cable through the internet, and to be able to go from one to the other, it's really difficult. Roku makes it all easier to get in and out of channels, and that's probably why they are more successful than others. Says the one who doesn't own one.
It's like a one-stop shop.
And that's what people, in many cases, that's what people want. They want to be able
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they want. They want the convenience.
Right.
And unfortunately, to get that convenience of having everything in one place, you've then got to subscribe to 5 different subscriptions in order to get what you had on cable. So somebody needs to come along and simplify it.
Well, I mean, we always said that podcasting and internet radio will only succeed big time when you'll be able to go into your car, turn a knob, and have push buttons to go into different stations, which doesn't exist at this point because you don't have internet. Not everybody has internet in their car to support that. And I don't know of any devices that you can put in your car that will allow you to just push button between podcasts. But I always thought it's so simple. All you need is one website that would have links in it to the different radio stations, different channels. I remember in the early days of voice over IP, and I'm talking probably mid to late 90s. They used to sell like a flash drive that had, I mean, the way that they were competing is, oh, we have 10,000 stations. Oh, we have 12,000. And you put it in, and all it did, it looked like your bookmarks in your browser. And yes, they were broken into categories and countries and things like that. And you would click on it, and that's all it is. It's a bookmark. And it takes you to that channel, and you can listen to that radio. It's a lot simpler now. Today, when you go to listen to any of these stations, unless they have their own streaming service, not service, their own streaming server, you are going through services like TuneIn and all those other ones. Now you have to log in. And that would also be a problem on if you had an quote unquote internet radio in your car that you just press the preset and go to that channel, you have to log in. So they have to build that into it. So it will remember your login and password and get you in there. It's as much as we think that, okay, that's it, we got it. Internet is going to take it over. No. There's a lot more to it. But the closest one is the Roku. With a way to set it up the way that you want and have a remote. You can sit back in front of your TV and it feels familiar, I guess, and you feel comfortable because you don't have to go to the computer and use the keyboard and the mouse and all that. So they're growing. Now, if they just be able to maintain it. Mike is busy. Yeah.
What am I supposed to say?
No. I was just wondering. I mean, what do you think if there was such a radio, such a device that's just
narrow the question down to one question? What do you? I mean, I listened to all that, but what's the question?
The question is: would internet get into your car, replace the radio in your car if there was such a device?
The answer is it absolutely one day will. The question is when.
Yeah, right. I'm talking about today. I guess the question is more.
I don't think that the research that tells us the penetration of digital in the car at this point, I don't think it's accurate. I don't think people know, primarily because a lot of the digital access is by phone. The question is not. Let me back up and look at the big picture. Whenever digital in the car, quote unquote, first started becoming an issue, the question was, when will there be devices available that all you have to do is press one button, and instead of picking up WQDR, you press a button and you pick up Computers 2K Now.
Right.
That was the first. Well, as soon as that happens, radio's in trouble because now they have all of these competitors. Well, that's true. I mean, there's no question that's true. Now, let's say that this device is available at Best Buy starting at noon today. How many people are going to run out and buy one? Well, let me ask you this. How many people have Grace digital audio receivers today? It's a very small number. Nick has one. I have one. I don't know if you have one. They're great little devices for the purpose. So even if they're available today, I don't think there's going to be a stampede to go buy them. All right, people are going to order them in their new cars. It'll come automatic. Well, I don't know if that's true because I don't know what percentage of cars come with satellite today. That was supposed to be the next big thing. Will they automatically become standard in cars? Will the government make them standard property? Don't know about all that. Maybe they will. If they do, then the transition will happen faster. To me, what is missing is we don't know how many people get into their car, stick their phone into a mounting bracket, sticking in the air vent, then they either Bluetooth or with a cable plug it into their car and listen to digital. We don't know the answer to that. That ability to do that is impacted by the number of people who have and use smartphones, the carriers that they have, the amount of data that's available to them, what they want to listen to. I don't know the answers to all that. To me, it's a big jumbled up question.
I think it's increasing. I think that's generally the thing.
How is it?
More people are doing this.
How is it over there?
Well, we're getting a lot of cars now that are internet connected. When you buy a new car, it's either got a package from the provider that connects you to the internet. Its sat nav stroke radio is connected to the internet, or you actually put a SIM card in the car. And from whichever operator you want. So it's beginning to creep. It's beginning to creep in here.
And that's my point. It's creeping. At what point is it going to take off and run? We don't know. It could happen very quickly.
Well, a lot of people are sort of don't realize this technology is going on, do they? There's quite a lot of people that are still quite technically ignorant that don't really know what's going on. It's it'll wait for a device, a bit like Amnon's saying, that you just plug in, easy to operate, and brings it all to you. That will break the mold.
Well, it needs to be built in. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, I've got a car now. I consider myself quite technically savvy. I've got a car now. And the reason I don't use my phone is because I don't like plugging in the auxiliary cable. I find it to be a pain.
Well, that's right. But most cars connect Bluetooth now.
Yeah, they do.
You can listen to music playing on your phone. You can talk hands-free to your phone.
Yeah.
You know, that is common here, very common.
Oh, it's common here as well. So that's the step in the right direction is having those in every car. So, I mean, my car is a 2011 or a 2010, and it has hands free, but it doesn't do audio streaming. So that's a barrier to entry. It may not sound like it, but it is.
But the audio stream, you know, if you've got tune-in radio and you play tune-in radio, most smartphones, if it's properly connected to the car and the car allows it, you'll get stereo through your car from tune-in.
I see the big problem though, and this is what you guys won't have to deal with overseas, is because we're so spread out over here. Cell service is, and this is another point. This is what Mike is. This has been what Mike has been advocating for years. Well, not necessarily advocating, but for years now. Is there are just stretches of I-40 between Wilmington and Raleigh that there's no cell service. There's a couple mile gap where there's just no cell phone service. So if you are trying to stream something on your phone, you will lose the stream for 5 minutes.
Here, the mobile broadband, the penetration is quite high. It's probably over 90% for the country. You know, it's a very, very high. I don't have any problem. I can get mobile broadband anywhere.
I would say it's probably 90% of the country over here too. When you're in, you know, but it's just sometimes when you're traveling, it's not always it's not always there. And then you've got the question of now you've got another SIM card and another $30 or $40 a month for data. And people just aren't going to do that. There can't be a charge for it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If I have to pay $40 a month to access internet radio on my car, I'm just going to listen to the regular radio.
Comes to the point, we got some pretty good all-you-can-eat data packages here that are quite cheap. Quite a lot of the operators give us unlimited mobile broadband for a reasonable price.
Yeah, so that's what we're lacking in the U.S.
Yep.
And the other thing too is
competition over there.
No, unfortunately, there's competition, but it's all the same.
We're all in the same boat. Right?
It's the other interesting thing too is, you know, for short commutes. For example, if you're just getting in your car to run to the store that's 5 minutes away, you go through and I'll throw air quotes around the word hassle. Do you go through the hassle to connect your phone and stream something, or do you just listen to the regular radio because you're only in the car for 5 minutes?
Depends how
exactly
how good you are with the technology, doesn't it? Really.
Well, like, I mean,
someone that's used to the technology, tune in, whatever, you know, they're probably listening to the music when they connect with Bluetooth. It just automatically connects over.
Here's something else that will play into this. Verizon Wireless will start throttling video streams to resolutions as low as 480p on smartphones this week. Most data plans will get 720p video on smartphones, but customers won't have any options to completely unthrottle video. So from a report, it says that 1080p will be the highest resolution provided on tablets, which effectively is ruling out 4K video on Verizon mobile network.
Who cares?
Huh?
Who cares?
Well,
nobody makes. Who watches 4K video?
I have no idea. Anything identified as a video will not be given more than 10 megabits worth of bandwidth. This limit will affect mobile hotspots usage as well. Verizon started selling unlimited smartphone data plans in February of this week, and the carrier said at the time it would deliver video to customers at the same resolution used by streaming video companies. We deliver.
See,
go ahead.
Sorry,
No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. No, keep reading the story. I thought you were.
It said we deliver whatever the content provider gives us. We don't manipulate the data, Verizon told ours in February. So the changes beginning on Wednesday, both for existing customers and new ones. The changes were detailed today in an announcement of new unlimited data plans starting August 23rd. Verizon's cheapest single-line unlimited smartphone data plan will cost $75 a month, which is $5 less than it cost before. And it will include only DVD quality streaming of 480p on phones and 720 on tablets. So you were saying, Nick?
There are, and I think the problem with this is there are too many technically illiterate people that are abusing these data packages unknowingly. I mean,
You take that back.
Amnon, it's been 6 months and Verizon is already turning off their unlimited data plan. It's been 6 months. It hasn't even been long enough for them to determine if it's working or not. So there's got to be so many people that are just, I mean, there's just people that they don't connect to Wi-Fi because they don't know. They don't know any better. They don't know the difference. And now, I mean, clearly they're causing Verizon to negate this entire program again. It's been 6 months.
Well, I mean, but what you said in the beginning made more sense to me. You said, who cares about 4K? And do you really care about 1080 on a phone?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't necessarily care about watching 1080 on a phone. But the whole fact of them offering you DVD quality streaming, I mean, DVD quality streaming is SD. I don't want to watch YouTube videos in SD, especially if I'm watching a tutorial on how to do something, repair something in a car, or fix something, and it requires some level of detail. You're not going to be able to do that on 480p.
Okay, good point.
But the whole point here is, what are people doing on the Verizon network that has caused Verizon to roll back the unlimited data plan in less than 6 months?
Or wasn't their data network ready for that amount of bandwidth?
Maybe it wasn't. I find it fascinating that they're already rolling back on this. I mean, they had it, they got rid of it. T-Mobile offered it, they brought it back, and now they're getting rid of it again. Why? There's a reason that these carriers keep introducing, getting rid of, and reintroducing this service.
You know, I'm just thinking. Remember, I was telling you that when we were replacing the shock in the BMW, Hannah and me, that we used like half a gig in less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I was assuming that when you're using a phone and you're watching something online, or like on YouTube, that it transcodes it and sends it to you at lower. But you guys were saying, no, you're still downloading the whole thing. And that's why it used so much data.
Well, it depends. You can control the quality on YouTube, but if you're watching a tutorial, you can't watch the tutorial at 240p. You won't be able to see what's going on.
Yeah, so it's almost like you need to set the...
And you can do that.
I mean, a lot of things you could use 240p. I mean, it all depends what you're doing and if you need what level of detail. But I guess, see, I never think about changing the resolution.
Of course not, because why?
Right.
I mean, it's just, why would you? It's just, it's not something that anybody thinks. I mean, even when I go on YouTube now, my videos auto load as 1080p on my computer. I mean, I don't change the resolution.
The interesting thing is, and I don't know what does this. I think it's YouTube is doing that. If right now you're on YouTube and you're watching on Computers 2K now, and it's the screen that's the video and the chat together. The resolution on it is what? It's 360p.
Yep. Well, that's what YouTube defaults to, is 360p.
And you can change it if you want to, but the minute you go into the full screen, it goes higher.
That's what they do.
Yeah. So that's interesting that if they're already doing that, well, I guess it's not just YouTube that Verizon is thinking about. It's everybody else's.
Well, I mean, look at Netflix.
Yeah.
If you're somebody
Yeah.
that, I mean, I know a whole bunch of people that watch Netflix on their phones. They don't bother connecting to Wi-Fi.
Right.
I mean, it's just not everybody's technical. Not everybody cares about
Yeah.
speed. They just care if the video plays. So it may
Right.
take a little while to buffer, but they watch Netflix. They may have Wi-Fi at their home. They don't even use it on their phone. They may not even have it connected.
Yeah. 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 So it's an interesting situation. I mean, if this is going to, I mean, if that's going to make unlimited 1080p on tablets, which is, yeah, a bigger screen and you need higher, I don't see that as a problem.
Stop calling it unlimited. This is what pisses me off about this entire thing. The carriers need to make up their mind and stick with it. I mean, they have AT&T has single-handedly introduced and then taken away unlimited, quote unquote, unlimited data like 4 freaking times now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, just make up your mind. Do you want to introduce it or not? I mean, Jesus, what are you doing? It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, and all these other carriers are just as guilty.
Yeah.
Decide if you
Unlimited
want to do
should-
unlimited.
Unlimited should mean that as well, not unlimited in small print terms and conditions apply. Get over yourself.
Unlimited at 480p. Oh, whoop-de-doo. Who cares? I'd rather not even have it. I mean, I just find the whole thing frustrating. But this goes right into the question you were asking Mike before. When are people going to be using the internet in the car to stream radio stations? If this is any indication, not anytime soon.
But these things are so fluid right now that nobody knows. I don't care what they tell you; they don't know because, again, it's good to have younger people and older people on this show because Nick, there are things that you're trying to understand that we've sort of already seen happen in other ways, and sometimes it happens the way you would expect it, and sometimes it doesn't. I never thought I would see the FCC mandate digital TV. I just didn't think they had what it takes to make it happen. And here they've done it. I would argue that they did a pretty crappy job of the transition, but that's the way they do things. As far as the transition to totally digital, the FCC wants the FM spectrum and the TV spectrum back from broadcasters. They want them all IP so that they can auction off the spectrum for major megabucks for things that cannot work over audio IP and maybe even some military purpose. I don't know what they're planning to do with it. They're eventually going to push, the theory is, I don't know, it may not be in my lifetime, but they're going to push all of terrestrial broadcasting to IP. There will have to be ubiquitous availability of IP in the car before that can happen, because one thing that they do advocate is universal service. That's the mantra that they used for supposedly granting stations and cutting them breaks and playing graft and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see. I don't know. It could happen quickly. It may take a long, long, long time to happen. But the fact is that the population is driving what it wants. I mean, last night was a pay-per-view.
Yes. Disaster.
What?
Disaster.
Well, I don't know anything about it, but it was, no, somebody said that they wanted $100 to watch it at your house.
Yes. And
Well,
Showtime.
A whole lot of people watched it without paying the $100.
I was on I know a friend that was watching it, and there was 300,000 people on the boxing stream subreddit, which was an aggregate of all of the links of this. And my friend was also using this service called Ace Stream to watch the fight. And right around the second the second fight of the night, there were 4 fights, the main event being the 4th one. And during the second fight, Ace Stream, which is a peer-to-peer protocol to stream content, so there's no universal server, there's no one person. It's like torrenting something. Everybody shares the file, so on and so forth. That service went down somehow during the second fight, which doesn't make any sense. Showtime actually had to reboot Comcast and Time Warner Cable's Showtime during the event because the cable system was overloaded. They had to reboot. I don't know how you reboot Showtime. I don't even know what that means, but they rebooted Showtime.
Well, okay, when you say reboot, everything run by the networks is all server based. The question is, how would they have a system that could even be overloaded because they feed a distribution system?
They rebooted Xfinity and old Charter customers.
Well, did they have it worked out by the time of the main event?
I'm not sure. I didn't buy it on pay-per-view. I would presume they did, but I don't know for sure or for certain. I don't know. I can tell you one thing: there were hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people that were streaming it illegally last night. As it was, I don't know who was behind shutting these streams down, but I have never seen such a concerted effort to shut down a live stream before.
And how would you say it worked?
I think it was pretty damn effective because I ended up using a friend used a very obscure way to end up watching it.
Who?
One of my friends.
Oh, okay.
Very obscure way, but they ended up watching the entire stream in HD. But there was a.
Did your friend see the actual main event?
Yes, my friend saw the main event, and it was.
What did your friend think of it?
It was a long night, a very good fight. But I've just never seen a concerted effort like that. I've seen plenty of people stream UFC pay-per-view fights illegally. Some big fights too. I mean, you're talking Ronda Rousey, who's arguably one of the best female fighters in the best female fighter, but never such a concerted effort to shut these streams down. So I don't know if it was Showtime that was doing it. That was really, Showtime is CBS, right?
No idea.
Was it CBS's effort? Was the U.S. government playing a part in the takedown? These streams were popping up on Twitch, and it was funny to watch because a Twitch channel would have like 150 views, and then the word would get out that they were streaming the fight, and it would have 70,000 views, and then viewers, and then it would just shut off. Yeah, it was just over and over and over again.
Well, why would anybody stream to a well-known CDA anyway?
So what ended up working for my friend was somebody on Twitch. They were streaming it on Twitch, and they used they had a little text tag on the screen that said "Follow me on Twitter" to get a different link. And that was the link that ended up working throughout the rest of the night.
For your friend.
For my friend, of course. Because
Nick would never do that.
Of course not.
No, he won't. And Dr.
The very interesting thing was this peer-to-peer service pretty much being completely shut down, which I don't even know how that's
Isn't that sort of like shutting a BitTorrent thing shutting down?
Saying.
Yeah, it's literally, I don't understand how it's possible. Steve or Jorvik, I don't know how much experience you guys have with peer-to-peer stuff, but I don't know if you're familiar with the service.
What we'll notice when something's going on like that, certain parts of the network will indicate high usage. The usage on routers will go up, which will identify something coming through, which will probably cause some network operators to look what's happening. And if it's not kosher, they just turn it off.
But let me ask.
It can be very easily blocked.
But let me ask about that though. Let's say that you see this hot node, this router that's blowing up. I guess there are thousands of connections to it with this router that's blowing up because of the streaming. But if you take that router offline, aren't you also taking down legitimate traffic?
No, you can filter the traffic going to it. Every router, you can filter the traffic going in. You can simply say block that, and No longer does that traffic go through. It's still working, but that traffic isn't going through.
But
That's
this would have to
very
be
simply
done
done.
by the ISP or by not the ISP, but some sort of the major traffic
Correct.
people, which
It will
usually
be the core network operators that see a lot of strain going on in the network and try to throttle it back.
So I wonder if Showtime and CBS put a concerted effort into making sure that these network operators, who realistically really don't give a crap if you're torrenting something or not, to taking they had to have, because there was at least 7 or 8 of these streams that somebody had, as my friend had saved and ready to go, and they all went down at the exact same time.
Yeah.
Different streams, but this peer-to-peer protocol.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
What they probably did. They went to the network. Like I say, this is the core network people. This isn't ISPs. These are the people that run the mesh routers in the back of everything. And just told, if you see traffic increase between this time and this time, please investigate and deal with. Simple
And
stuff.
Doctor,
And it's so easy to. What you got to remember with the internet, nothing is secret. Nothing is anonymous. Everything is visible. People got to realize that everything is visible, and if you put enough attention into it, you can see what you want to see.
I mean, it was almost insane to see that something like this peer-to-peer protocol just, for all intents and purposes, vanish off the internet.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bit like a DDoS. It's a bit like a DDoS attack, because you've got so many people trying to get through at the same time. The server can only handle so many, and if they haven't put enough resources into it, then it's just going to fail.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If it's servers that are doing things, it could just simply be that their own servers are overloaded.
This protocol, which I've used in the past for streaming, is it's called Ace. The player's called Ace Stream, and it's just a peer-to-peer streaming protocol.
But when a lot of people are watching one thing, it's the difference between unicast and multicast. If you look at the differences between those two castings, you'll realize the overhead on unicast is enormous. That's what multicast was developed for, so that thousands of people watch one stream and it's one flow of data. Unicast could be 1,000 flows of data. That's the difference.
It was quite remarkable to watch, but I'll give Showtime credit if their goal was to shut people down. They did a hell of a job.
It was either the people that's streaming it overloaded their system, or like you say.
No, I don't think so, because it was multiple different streams on different protocols.
No, that would be the network people were told, just monitor. Yep. When the gauges start going up at that time, investigate. Simple as that.
It was very, very insane to watch.
Dr. John in the chat is saying that they're blaming it on last minute subscriptions.
So John's talking about a different issue. John is talking about the UFC TV and Showtime's website going down, which did in fact happen. People were getting a 503 service unavailable error.
Wow.
In fight time. I mean, that's how many freaking people watched this fight. I mean, we're talking Showtime pay-per-view. I mean, they've been doing pay-per-views for 40-something years now. And I mean, UFC has a major fight almost every other week. But the internet, the internet was significantly slower near fight time. The internet, everything was just a little bit slower. If that's any indication of what was going on.
Yeah, just like the internet was really slow during the eclipse. And later.
True.
And later. I guess.
I mean, you just have so much network traffic. Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine how many millions of people streaming this event, either legally or illegally. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just absolutely, destroys the internet.
Yeah.
That would be contention, which is bits of data don't get through. To cut it off completely, that's a different thing.
All right, let's go in a different direction. This is kind of funny. A couple from the Brick Township in New Jersey stands accused of using a flaw in the Lowe's online portal to receive goods for free at their home. According to the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, the couple tried to steal goods worth $258,000, but only managed to receive approximately $13,000 worth of merchandise. Officers executing a search warrant said the residence resembled more of a warehouse than a home. Investigators said they recovered enough merchandise to fill an 18-foot trailer. One of the suspects, lawyer, argued that his client didn't have the skills to penetrate the security on the website of a Fortune 500 company, and insisted instead that his client just had a really special knack for finding good deals. He just knew how to get good deals. They were saying that the problem was with the site gift card portal mechanism. Something was messed up, so they were getting free stuff.
Wait, so they're suing him?
Oh, I mean, come on. If you go now to Best Buy and you're trying to buy a computer, and you go through the checkout, and then it says, "Yeah, it's fine. It's free. Zero. You don't have to pay anything." In reality, I mean, and you know that something is wrong here. If you take it, I guess you can get sued. I mean, I was asking myself, what would I do? I would probably call and say, "Hey guys, you have a problem somewhere."
I mean, Mike, I don't know if you can elaborate on this whatsoever, but for example, if a website has a loophole that allows you to check out without there being a cost associated, are you on the hook for that?
Well, the answer is it depends. The analysis, believe it or not, this very question shows up on law school exams because the answer is not anywhere near as simple as you think it might be, and it can go off in a lot of directions. For example, if someone says, for example, you go in and you want to buy a can of beans for $1, you go to checkout, it's 59 cents. If it's a mistake, it's not likely that you would even notice it was they're on sale. That's reasonable. They're stuck. You're going to walk out the door with the beans. No, there's no problem there. If you go in there and it rings up as 2 cents, you say, "Wait a minute, something's up here." And they, in most cases, the grocery store, "Well, wait a minute, that's a problem here, but hey, it's our mistake. We're going to honor this." Then they're going to run back and change the price tag on the item. But if you're talking a big item, you go in, you buy a car, and let's take a simple example. You finance it like Nick would, and 48, 72 months, and they put down that the price of the car is $1.50. And Nick walks out with that contract. "Wow, I just bought this car financed for 84 months for $1.50. Look at me." That contract is voidable because it's an obvious mistake. Nobody in their right mind would believe that the $40,000 car that Nick's buying is $1.50, and that would be considered a mistake that is correctable.
I'm a real good dealster.
So whatever so in this case, there is a ground to believe that there was a mistake, in which case that they might be able to undo some or all of the transactions. Having said that, what I understood you to say when you said prosecutor is that this is being proceeded as a criminal matter.
Yeah, because it's not just a one-time thing. I mean, they were selling on Craigslist, and they were buying more and more and selling it for half price, and everything was still in. I mean, you go and you buy a 2x4, or you're buying a drill, and it's something got screwed up. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to probably do it. But when you go back and again and again and again, and you buy more stuff and you sell it on Craigslist, and you buy more and you sell it, and you buy and you sell it, then yeah, that's obviously you are taking advantage of something that you're doing something you're not supposed to do, and then you're going to get prosecuted.
There are legitimate things. For example, if you go on Craigslist in Raleigh,
yeah,
and search for copy paper,
right, Yeah.
You will find
Right.
reams of
Right.
cases of paper, 10 reams for $15.
Right.
All right,
But
it's $27 at the store on sale.
right, but I don't think you'll be able to buy 200 boxes.
Yeah, sometimes you can, and it's all totally legitimate. These are
Yeah.
people who have learned how to take the coupons to work through them with their companies. Their company as an employee benefit lets them have the buyer's points, and they copy paper is easy to handle. It keeps forever. And these, from what I know, are legitimate people who are selling the copy paper. They probably got nothing in it, so they're selling it at half of what you can get it for new, and everybody wins.
Well, they obviously, once they went there and they saw what they have in the house and how they were operating a business. Only their supplier was giving them the stuff. So that's where I guess the prosecution came from. But I'm surprised it didn't happen to other people that let Lowe's know, hey, there's a problem there. Because you would expect somebody somebody else would say, hey, well, we just got something for free, and we weren't supposed to. So that's why they.
Well, Lowe's is even more difficult because we talked about it before here and I can't prove this. It's just what someone told me. I've observed it. I've asked other people, and it seems to be confirmed, but I don't recommend you try it. I'm not advocating you take advantage of it, but I am told that the store has a non-confrontation policy. I said, what does that mean? That means that if you stick something in your pocket and walk out the door with it, and they see you stick it in your pocket and walk out the door with it, they're not going to confront you because apparently they've had some employees injured in doing so.
Jeez.
But if I were them, I would be very hard pressed to have that policy. It would make me mad enough. I would have an armed guard available to do the confrontation. Because I hate a thief worse than just about anything.
That's amazing.
Now, I can't confirm that's true. That's just what I was told.
I wonder if the role. I wonder if not the roles are reversed, obviously, but I wonder if things are different. I mean, when things are different, I think when it comes to online, if you're able to use some promo code that gives you something for free, is it different than you walking into a store, scanning it, and not getting it? I mean,
the hard part is, what do you know? If you know it's a scam, if you know it, let me take that back. If you know it's a blatant mistake, save 10% on this purchase. It's normally $100. That means it's $90, but instead it rings up as $9. You know that somebody's made a math error. Then that's arguably fixable. Now, how are you going to fix it's another matter, but that's arguably fixable.
Yeah.
You were on notice as to what it should have been. You saw that it wasn't, and you took advantage of an error. And karma's a bitch. It'll turn around and come back to haunt you too. You'll make an error one day, and it'll come back to eat your butt up.
Yep.
Line of the day.
Let's see who's online.
Hey, it's Gene this morning. How are you?
Hey, Gene.
I got a quirky one that happened with Chrome that I'm wondering if that happened to anybody else, either on the show or on the chat. Chrome, how you got your bookmarks, your bookmark bar up at the top, and then for the ones that can't fit up on the top, you have an arrow that you click, and then the others open up. And then you just take your cursor and go to the one you want to open,
right,
and click on it. Okay. I got a machine upstairs that every time I click on that arrow, it opens up, and then when I move the cursor, it closes, it goes away.
Every now and then it'll kind of close it, but it will. If you move the cursor precisely, it'll work fine.
I don't know. I tried everything.
Oh, so
you know how I got it to work?
Oh, okay. Are you saying that every time you do it, it happens? So you can. Oh.
So let me tell you how I got it to work, but it only goes once.
Now
I close Chrome and then open it up again. All right. Now when I open it up again, I can get that extension bar to open one time. But if I use it and then I go back a little later and I'm still in that same, I haven't done anything to get out of Chrome. I'm still in Chrome. and I go back up, it won't open again.
Okay, now Chrome or my Chromes don't have a down arrow for that. They have, it says, other bookmarks.
Right. Well, no. If you go to the arrows just to the left of other bookmarks, I'm doing it on this machine right now, and they show up, and they're fine. And I can move the cursor, and highlight the one I want and open it up. But this machine upstairs, when I click on that double arrow, it opens up and then closes. Just opens up, it shows me what it is, and closes. And the only way I can get it to work is, like I say, for that particular, what do I want to say, for the time that Chrome is open, all right? I'll close Chrome, open it up again, and I'll get one shot at doing that.
Interesting.
If I do it once, then I try and do it again, it goes away.
Okay. So you say as soon as you move the mouse, it shuts the drop down away.
Steve, sometimes I don't even have to move the mouse. It just pops up and then goes away. Pops up and disappears.
Right. One alternative is I found on one program I had, it used to do exactly the same thing. You had to move the mouse horizontally across the screen. Otherwise, if you actually went down before you got to the drop-down box, it would make it move away. The way I got around it, because sometimes you can always move the mouse directly horizontal, is to use the up and down arrow keys, and that would allow you to select from the drop-down without moving the mouse.
Yeah, but why does it only happen on that one machine? When the other machines, I can do anything I want with the mouse.
Because it's a computer. There's probably
so
a
what I'm
quirk about it.
thinking is the next is to uninstall Chrome and reinstall it.
Yeah, that's one option to try. It might fix the problem. It could be a DLL or something like that that's becoming corrupt or isn't working as it should.
Yeah.
I'm still lost here. I don't see any double arrow. What?
Well, if you got bookmark bars and you got more than can be shown on top, you have to get to the others.
Okay, wait a second. Hold it. The thing you're talking about showing on top, that's the bookmark bar.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at the end of that bar, it says other bookmarks. And if I click on that,
okay.
So what are
Let me just flip.
Go ahead.
The arrows are just to the left of that other bookmarks. That other bookmarks is in a different space. There's a line and then other bookmarks. To the left of that line is a double arrow to open up more of the bookmark bar. The other bookmarks are going to open up all the other bookmarks, but not the ones I'm talking about.
Interesting. I don't see that.
It's like
maybe
a folder
because I don't have. Maybe
in
because
effect.
I don't have enough.
I don't have enough on my bookmark bar. Otherwise, I'd have a look.
Yeah. Let me close this. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah. So you click that. You click the double arrow, and it opens the rest of them that are in there. Yeah.
And then on this machine, I can do anything I want. I mean, I can go up, down, or anything like that. But the other one, just as soon as I open it, it shuts. Sometimes I don't even have to move it.
No
the
idea.
cursor. It just hit them and then they disappear.
I would do what you just said. I would try and reinstall it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I was just wondering if anybody ran into it before.
I haven't come across the problem myself, but then I don't have a lot on the bookmarks bar. I've only got C2K. Excuse me. But try the down arrow. If rather than having to shut down and restart it again, try the down arrow and see if that actually takes you down through the list. That might be one other option.
Yeah. Okay. Like I say, if I uninstall Chrome and reinstall it and it goes away, then it was just a quirk.
Yeah.
I guess,
I never. That's why I never seen it. I never have more. The bookmark bar really is created so you have only the ones that you use all the time. And then you have the other bookmarks. So I never let it go that far. I mean, still have it like about 3 inches between the last one and the other bookmarks. That's why I didn't see it. What you really should do, you should not add more and more and more to the bookmark bar. You should move them to another folder and then just leave the ones that you're using in there. and then you can just
Yeah,
click on other bookmarks, and you can go to the ones you want to go to. It's you are duplicating the other bookmarks, because yeah, you can have 500 on the bookmark bar, but then you have to scroll through all of them just like they're in the other bookmarks.
I got you.
Did I make sense?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, just using it the way it was intended to, but I don't know why. I mean, it's not doing it on all the machines, so yeah.
Well, I don't have that many in the
Yeah.
Arrow. I only got
The
I
other
only
the
I
other
only got 6, including Delta Force.
the other trick, Gene, is
Yeah.
edit the names of those bookmarks. You don't have to have 3 words in
I've
the
done that.
description.
Yeah, I've done that.
Make it as,
Yeah, I always do that, but they're shorter.
yeah, just as short as you can. I mean, just something that you recognize what it is.
Yeah, I've already done that.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
good enough.
Thanks for calling, man.
Righto, take care now.
You too. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And let's see what else we have here. Hey, Nick?
Yes.
I don't know if this is interesting about as of Friday, you cannot buy a new Xbox One from Microsoft anymore. I mean, is that
Probably the original Xbox One. Yes. Probably to buy the Xbox One S.
yeah, they were saying that manufacturing of the original version of the console ceased a few months back, but as of Friday, marked the day it became officially unavailable. So why would anybody want to buy one of them if there's a newer one? Is there a reason that somebody would want to buy?
I mean, it's cheaper.
Okay.
In some cases. In some cases, not always. I mean, I don't know. Some people like the way it looks. I don't know.
Okay. Oh. So yeah,
I still have my original Day One edition.
no.
Welcome into the Hangout, Sergey.
Good morning.
Good
gentlemen.
morning, Sergey. How are you?
Fine. How are you all doing this glorious?
Fine, and we don't
autumn.
get your video. Is that
Yeah,
by
yeah.
design?
Not today, 'cause the lighting is insufficient to
All right.
do any
Okay.
video at this,
All right.
this location. Sorry.
So here's another interesting story here that I guess there's a lot of controversy back and forth. For years, Maine has been offering laptops to high school students. But is it doing more harm than good? One high school student says we hardly ever use paper, while another student says he couldn't imagine social studies class without his laptop and internet connection. I don't think I could do it. Honestly, I don't want to look at a newspaper. I don't even know where to get a newspaper. But then the reporter visits a political science teacher who learned what a lot of teachers, researchers, and policymakers in Maine have come to realize. Over the past 15 years, you can't just put a computer in a kid's hand and expect it to change learning. So research has shown that one-to-one programs, meaning one student, one computer, implemented the right way, increase student learning in objects like writing, math, and science. Those results have prompted other states like Utah and Nevada to look at implementing their own one-to-one programs in recent years. Yet, after a decade and a half, and a cost of about $12 million annually, around 1% of the state's education budget, Maine has yet to see any measurable increase on statewide standardized test scores. Now, the article also notes that Maine de-emphasized teacher training which could have produced better results. So it's amazing. You think, okay, well, we'll give them computers, they will be better students. Turns out, no. It can actually make it worse or not make it any better. And maybe some students got better. But in reality, that's not where it's at. Now, Nick, you had a computer when you went to school.
Correct.
You had a laptop.
Yeah, it was awful.
Do you think you could have gotten through school without it?
No. I mean, you can't. I mean, most of college classes now require you to use their web portal.
But in class or later on when you're
just in general, and not. I mean, you have to. I mean, no. I think for some classes you absolutely do need one because they require you to access things online.
Okay.
All grading, all paper submission, all project submission. I mean, all that you email all of the teachers. I mean, there's portals in place.
No. I'm sure there is a place for it to have it in school so you can do these things, but you don't submit your papers during a lecture. You don't do these things grading during a lecture.
I mean, define class is a class. I mean, there's different kinds of classes.
No,
there are lecture hall classes.
No, I mean when you're sitting there in class and the professor is in front of you talking.
So you're talking about a lecture.
A lecture, yeah.
A lecture. No, in a lecture, no. Unless you're taking notes on it, no. But certain other classes, you may need to access it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they were saying that to have it made a lot of sense if you were in writing, math, and science.
Math, I think it's useless. You just need a calculator.
But after a decade and a half,
for writing class, absolutely, you need to have one because you don't handwrite things.
Yeah.
Everything is typed and submitted.
It was always, I mean, a point of arguments, whether you should do it or you shouldn't. You should give the kids a laptop or you shouldn't. And I remember even in the early days, well, in the 2000 with Larry, I mean, his daughter would always talk, and we always talked about before school starts what laptop you should get and what you shouldn't get and why you should get it there. And today it's you don't talk about it anymore because it's, hey, you get it. And here they were talking also about high school students. So it's not
in high school they weren't allowed. I mean, you weren't allowed to use them.
They're talking here about high school. So it's just interesting that
But again, it depends on the high school. There are some high schools now that the same thing. All of your stuff is done online, and if that's the case, I do think you should have one during.
And
class.
if you implement it right, and you know when to allow the student to use it, and when have the student listen to what.
See, I disagree with this. I think just give them a computer. I mean, you're gonna have students that won't pay attention, or just gonna kind of screw off with it. I mean, whatever. Who cares? I mean, it's their money, right? I mean, who cares? See, that's the thing I don't like is when it's a pick and choose, like, oh, you can only use it this time. You either give access or don't give access. None of this. Oh, only certain times thing. It's just stupid.
All right. Well.
So I mean, that's just how I feel about it. If I'm going to not pay attention in class because of a computer, then let me not pay attention in class because of a computer, because I'll find another way to not pay attention. The computer's just but I mean seriously. I mean that's what it comes down
I'll
to.
find another way. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm not interested in the class and don't want to pay attention, the computer's only gonna.
Yeah.
Actually, the computer may be the best option because I won't be bothering somebody else. I just won't be paying attention myself.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of these stupid computer science classes that I took in college that if I didn't have a computer, I don't know what I would have done.
You would, that makes sense.
Classes.
Yeah.
I mean, I did nothing all day but browse. I did nothing every class but just browse on the internet.
Now, remember last week we were talking about those locks that were bricked because of over-the-air update that the company made to them.
The garage doors.
Well, no, these were actually locks.
I was locked.
Yeah, over here, I don't know if you already have them over there, but you can have a lock on your front door that you can lock remotely. It actually has a motor in it, and it turns it, and it locks it.
Yeah.
So here's
what happened?
So they updated the software, and people could not open the door anymore. So it happened
over the last week.
This happened before. We talked about it last week. But here's something.
Right.
Here's something else. And this happens last week, I guess. Thousands of owners of high-end Samsung TVs have complained after software update left their recently acquired $1,800 sets with blank, unusable screens. The Guardian has been contacted by a number of owners complaining that the TVs they bought, in some cases just 2 weeks ago, have been rendered useless by an upgrade sent out by Samsung a week ago. Others have been posting furious messages on the company's community boards, complaining that their new TVs are no longer working. The company has told customers it is working to fix the problem, but so far, 7 days on, nothing has been forthcoming. The problem appears to affect the latest models, as owners of old Samsung TVs are not reporting an issue. And again, how are they going to fix it if they can't get to the TVs anymore? This is becoming a problem there. I don't know.
To send an engineer out to each person.
Did you guys ever update the software on your TV? I mean, we have a smart TV. I don't think I ever did an update on it.
A lot do it automatically, Amnon. You got no option. It just does it.
It's an over-the-air update.
I remember, and even it may still happen, then when you turn it on, there's a little banner at the very top that says, update available, blah, 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 click here. And it just goes away, and, everything is working. It's just amazing.
Yours a Samsung one?
Yeah, that's the latest high-end Samsung. Because they're talking about 18...
So is yours the high-end one?
Oh, no,
not
it's not. No,
No,
it's not. I was just saying that our TV, that I've never, we have it for about 5, 6, 7 years now, and never did an update. But yeah, it could have happened automatically if they don't let you know that it's happening or that it happened then. But I never did it manually. And I was just wondering if anybody ever did any kind of an update to a TV. I'm looking in the chat.
I tried when I buy mine, several years ago, but mine was a Samsung. It was of an older model, and it basically never happened. I tried to run an update, but it never happened, and I quit after several times of trying and retrying, and then I guess I can still watch my TV as opposed to the guys with the high-end models of the Samsung.
Yeah, the high-end, I guess, has more options that they want to update and all that, but it's a problem. It's a problem.
When it's a reputable company like Samsung, you would imagine it would be thoroughly tested before they pushed it out to the public.
I know.
It's incredible that a big company like that allows something so that shouldn't happen, allows it to
should
go
not
through.
happen.
What the hell's the matter with them?
Yeah.
Quality control.
You wonder, right. It's quality control. It's responsibility. It's dedication. It's, I don't know where it's at. I guess they're not paying them enough, so they're just doing it. Talking also, a big thing about two-step authentication. What is it called? Yeah, Two-step?
Two-step authentication.
So hackers have discovered that one of the most central elements of online security, the mobile phone number, is also one of the easiest to steal. In a growing number of online attacks, hackers have been calling up Verizon, T-Mobile US, Sprint, and AT&T and asking them to transfer control of a victim's phone number to a device under the control of the hackers. Once they get control of the phone number, they can reset the passwords on every account that uses the phone number as a security backup. You know, you can go in and you want to change a password, or you want to change something in your account, and it'll send you a text with the number, and it says plug that in. That's is an added security. Once they get control of the phone number, they can reset the password on every account. The services that uses are like Google, Twitter, Facebook. And he said, my Apple restarted, my phone restarted, and my computer restarted. And that's when I got the cold sweat and was like, okay, this is really serious. A virtual currency investor who lost control of his phone number late last year. A wide array of people have complained about being successfully targeted by this sort of attack, including a Black Lives Matter activist and the chief technology of the Federal Trade Commission. The commission's own data shows that the number of so-called phone hijackings has been rising in January 2013. No, it has been rising. In January 2013, there were 1,038 such incidents reported. By January 2016, that number is increased to 2,658. But a particularly concentrated wave of attack has hit those with the most obvious valuable online accounts, virtual currency. Within minutes of getting control of Mr. Bernsky's phone, his attackers have changed the password on his virtual currency wallet and drained the contents. Some $150,000 in today's value. Now, this is, we need to be aware of it. But I don't understand, how can somebody get Verizon to change the account that the phone number is attached to and move it to theirs? I don't understand that. If
I
you,
would have thought with
the what?
I would have thought with the phone number that it would send you a text to that phone number to, like, as a confirmation,
Correct.
8-digit number or
Right.
something.
That's what they're trying to accomplish. Once they
haven't got access.
But how
to
did
that
they
phone
get
number.
it to begin with? Yeah. I have no idea.
Unless they're spoofing that phone number somehow.
They're not spoofing. Remember, they're calling their carriers and asking them to transfer control of that victim's phone number to a device under the control of the hacker. So from then on, when you get a text, you don't get it. They get it. How does that happen to begin with? Say again, Sergey?
Social engineering.
Yeah. It has to
The only way
be.
to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after all, you're talking to a human being.
Right.
And it is quite easy to deceive a human being who is an operator who gets a dozen of complaints per hour from angry people. And if you sound convincing enough, it's just a matter of time until some of those attacks succeed.
It's just amazing that something like this would so what do we do now? You know, you think about it. If this is a a nuisance to have that thing with the text, but it's important to have that because that's your extra layer of security. But it may be gone.
It's gone already. I mean, the protocol that sends SMSs has been, I think, was either. I mean, it is dated in back in 1992 or something. So there were multiple attempts and successful attempts of breaking into it and into the SMS protocol and diverting the secret codes over to another phone. At least in Germany, there were several attacks when people drained their people's account using the SMS security as one of the two-step authentication measures. So it is no longer reliable in any way, in any shape or form. And the fact that people are using it right now, that, well, hackers are one step ahead of us.
Always.
And AT&T are still using an outdated protocol and calling it a secure protocol, whereas it is not.
Here's another thing here. Microsoft announced that its controversial speech recognition system has reached a 5.1% error rate, its lowest so far. This surpasses the 5.9% error rate reached last year by a group of researchers from Microsoft Artificial Intelligence and Research and puts its accuracy on par with professional human transcribers. I'm not going to read the rest of it, but Nick has been playing with the program called what was it, Nick?
For what?
The web thing that transcribes.
It is webcapture.com.
And I mean, when we looked at it, and you were playing something from a video that it transcribed, it did not have errors.
No, what I did is I played back a newscast on YouTube and let
No, I'm talking about
software
when you discovered it and you were saying, let's see, and you were playing some video from.
Yeah, that's what I tried. I tried playing a newscast,
and it was great. It was.
The thing I find the most fascinating about it is its name recognition. Like, Amnon is not a normal name,
right?
So when I say Amnon and it fills it in instantly without any hiccup, that is a very good indication.
Yeah.
For example, Amnon Nissan. It just fills it in like it's
supposed to be. Yeah. If anybody wants to play with it, it's called Web Capture.
I just posted it in chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Captioner.
Web Captioner.
Yeah. And it's unbelievable. I mean, people are using it also for closed captioning on certain shows.
Mm-hmm.
And it will it's not pretty yet, so we're not using it. But it will do it, and everything that we're speaking will be closed captioned and displayed on the website. It's unbelievable the way, the accuracy of that thing. I remember that program that Dragon Dictate.
Yeah,
I mean, years ago, it was forget it.
Yeah, it was very good.
You had to speak like this into it.
Here,
I bought it. It was £99, and I thought, my God, this is the future.
Yeah.
And I did use it extensively. You had to read Alice in Wonderland to get it to recognize your voice. And you had to speak like this all the time. It would take for it. But it was quicker than typing. And it was really good at its time. And this was back in the 90s. And at the time, I just couldn't believe how brilliant it was. IBM Dictate, wasn't it?
Dragon Dictate.
Dragon Dictate, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had the IBM Via Voice, which was another one. and that was exactly the same thing. But look how far we've come forward now. It actually can almost catch you just speaking normally as long as you enunciate clearly.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. This one here, you don't have to enunciate clearly. I mean, you're just talking normally, and it is. Go ahead and play with it. It's all web-based. It's amazing. It's amazing how accurate it is.
Is it webcaptioner.com?
Yeah. Web captioner.
Like the yellow on black, right?
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
I'll give it a play with later.
USS Rover, Dragon naturally speaking. Yeah. No, it's amazing.
We should give those guys credit, a lot of credit. I mean, the natural speaking guys, I remember using their software on dictating multiple page documents, and I got so good with that actually I was very good at typing at that moment. But then that software, I managed to increase it by at least 20% above my maximum typing rate, which was pretty good anyway.
Huh?
And the amount of time I saved with that was very sizable.
The other thing to consider as well, for people that can't touch type, you're forever looking up at the screen, looking down at your keyboard, looking up at the screen. So if you could physically just talk and then see the words appear in front of you, it's like magic. It's incredible. It really is brilliant.
Yeah, I cannot touch type. I mean, I have to look at the keyboard.
You're bobbing your head up and down all the time. If you can just look at the screen and the words appear as you speak,
yeah.
It's like something from another world.
Yeah. Yep. All right, it's that time of day again. Anything else anybody wants to bring up, mention?
Be safe with the hurricane, people.
Yeah. Everybody should be safe when stuff like this happens.
Yeah.
Stay home behind the computer.
Say again?
See it pass you by. Say stay home behind the computer and see it pass you by.
Yeah, no, I don't think they can stay behind a computer. I don't think they have power. I don't think they have anything. They should have been.
Then pull up a book. That's one of those little tech devices that we are always forgetting, but it's a good time for that.
What did you say, Mike?
I said just get a Mac. They always work.
Yeah.
You don't need electricity and the internet for a Mac. It just works perfectly.
Internet, none of that stuff. So don't waste your money.
Yeah.
Fact.
All right.
All right, everybody have a good week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stay
everybody.
safe and take care.
Thank you, Sergey, Steve, Joravik, Mike, Nick. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a great day.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, rate the show. Tonight at 7, Nick Craig hosts Against the Norm on Wilmington's Big Talker 106.7, and you can listen to it on TuneIn. See ya.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.